Alrighty, this is the second installment of Picture of the Day. So basically, this, after thinking about it a little bit more, I think that I will just sort of go through my entire catalog, and they won't be necessarily pictures I've taken today specifically, but it'll just be a small collection of pictures that'll sort of be in chronological order, going backwards, and yeah, I think that's it. So I guess let's just cut right to it. So this particular day, it was, I think, 2 or 3 days ago, when I brought my dog. He was getting a haircut. He got a bit shaggy, so I decided it was just about time to get him groomed and whatnot. So this is sort of me being bored, sitting in the car, waiting. I was originally going to wait the whole hour just in the parking lot because I didn't really feel like going back to the house or going. It was like a half an hour back and forth, so I sort of just sat in my car, and I got my older rather, camera that I had. I was going to sell it. I sort of haven't done that yet, so I was just sort of dinking around with that. And here's one of the pictures with it. This is just my little phone stand, and I thought the windshield almost adds to the bokeh effect. I don't know why it is exactly, but I just thought it looked kind of cool. And after that, we have I thought this was kind of a funny little picture of two carts. I don't know, just hanging out. It's kind of cool. There's an outlet. I just thought this was an interesting composition. No particular reason why. It just is two silly carts doing silly things. So pretty cool. Pretty neat, I think. I don't know why Target has a cart all the way over here. There was no Target within like the 3 mile vicinity, along those lines, something like that. So bit of a nomadic cart, kind of cool. Next we have me realizing, okay, I have way more time than I thought I did. Originally, the PetSmart that I brought my dog to said, oh, about 2 to 3 hours ish, or it could be an hour. They're like very wishy-washy on what it might actually be. So I was like, okay, I'll hang out. And at around the hour 40 mark, I gave them a call from my car. I was like, yo, are you guys almost done? And they're like, nah, dude, not even close. So it took, I think we got to his appointment at 2:30. It was like 6 o'clock by the time they were done. So a little bit more than what I bargained for. But other than that, it wasn't a terrible day in terms of stuff going on. I got to go, well, I guess you'll see that in a moment. I was driving around originally sort of aimlessly. I went to a Indian restaurant that they were closed. I think they're closed from like 2:30 until 5 o'clock for the dinner rush, I suppose. So it was unfortunate timing, but it was okay. It is what it is. Sometimes you miss out. I just wanted some rice pudding. That's my thing that I like to get every time I go there. Anyways, this is just a picture of Nova Financial Center. I don't really have any particular. I just thought it looked kind of neat. It's almost concave, every window. And yeah, there's a liquor store and a Dollar General or Dollar Tree. And it was just a little parking lot that I was in. I think, yep, after that, there's a really nice red Porsche sitting there. And I sort of drove 2 or 3 times around the parking lot to get a picture of it. But there were people, like, going in and out of the store. Like, it was, I don't know, they were just buying stuff. It's weird. So I sadly didn't get the picture that I saw in my head, but I did get this one though. I think Porsches are pretty cool. I think people say Porsche as well, but I don't know. I just know this is a nice shade of red, and I got a cool picture of it sort of driving around. Oh, and also, I think this day I had forgotten my regular camera. I have an Olympus EM, what was it, EM10 Mark III is what it is, and I have several different lenses for that. I just got that, 2 months ago? But before that, and I still do technically, I have a Canon T6i with several different lenses, so I sort of was just shooting around with that since I did not have the other one that I've sort of been switched over to. And after that, or I guess after this day of realizing, oh, this camera's still a good shooter and I enjoy shooting with it, I think I've sort of decided to bring both cameras with me whenever I go out to take pictures. Like yesterday's episode of Pictures of the Day, there were different, I guess, back and forth between those two cameras, and this, I think, is a good example. I really like the color of Canon. I don't know what it is exactly that they do differently, but it just looks better in my opinion. So whenever I shoot with my Canon camera, I'm more likely than not to shoot in color, and with my Olympus I shoot mostly in black and white just because of how, I guess, small the sensor is maybe, and it becomes a bit grainier when you sort of blow it up, and I think it just leans towards that, but that's just my opinion, and I think it's right. So that's that. Next we have this little, I guess, what's it called, lift, and I was going to originally just go back to PetSmart and sit in the parking lot again, but I just couldn't take it anymore, so I went to the mall that was about 5-10 minutes away, and I haven't had a wide angle lens for my Olympus for a while. The one that I did have originally, the motor stopped working, and I went to go and fix it. I don't know how to fix lenses, so I kind of just took it apart, and it's sitting in my closet, sort of dismantled, which is a bit awkward. It was a really good lens. I did like how much, I guess, range I had with it. I think it was a 28 to 115 or something along those lines, so I'll have to get a little pancake lens for that camera soon enough, but that's for later. For now, I think I'm doing pretty alright with my Canon, getting a bit of the wider angled shots, and just more of a open lens, I suppose. I don't know exactly how to describe it, but shots like this where I have a lot more stuff going on in it, and it's not so closed in. Yeah, here's a little mall security guy. I was originally trying to get a picture of this barber shop that is to the right over here, if you can follow my mouse, and there were these folks, and they were just having a great time laughing and, just cheering along and getting haircuts, and I really liked that scene, but I couldn't for the life of me get it right on my camera with my shutter speed. It was just an awkward shot to get, I think, because it was super bright in there, super dark in comparison, and it was just weird, and it didn't get the detail that I had wanted. I think there was one picture that turned out okay, which I don't think I threw it in here. I'll use my Epic awesome editing software to put it here right now, and if I don't, I'll have egg on my face and look like a goober, but I think I know how to do that enough. Anyways, that's the picture, if it's there. If it's not, sorry, but yeah, it was and they kept on, the barber shop people just kept on seeing me, which kind of inconvenient when you're trying to get, I guess, discreet photos, because when people know that you're taking a picture of them, it's almost as if they change their demeanor and like, oh, I gotta look nice with the picture. No, you don't. Just keep on doing what you're doing. I prefer that. Anyways, that's that picture. Here's a self-portrait. I suppose I have been enjoying the, I guess, reflection shots that I've been getting recently. Right here, it's right at the very entrance. If we were to go left just barely, you see the doors right there, you would go out back to that area where the security guard was, and you would have the barbershop right there. But yeah, just a little self-portrait, which I think I'm going to sort of experiment with that a bit more as I go throughout the days taking pictures and whatnot, just because I think it's a bit of a fun kind of picture because it's me. I I know that guy, so it'd be sort of cool to just get more self portraits. And here is a shield and a mask. I'm not exactly sure of the origin of it. It was sort of just sitting in the mall, lit up in this manner, and I thought it just looked so interesting. So I just snapped a picture of it. It was while I was waiting for, what was I waiting for? Well, I guess my dog's haircut, firstly. Secondly, I think I had gotten some sort of hot tea drink, and they didn't really, I think there's like a big line in front of me before I got there, so it took them a little while. So I just sat down and like saw this in the distance, and I just zoomed in with my big zoom lens. I just took a picture of it, and it looks pretty neat, I'd say. It almost reminds me of, I don't know, I think it's from Africa, or like an African shield and mask, but I'd have to look into it more to be sure. But yeah, pretty cool, neat picture. I like the lighting of it, and I like how the mask is cool, and it's a mask. Anyways, this is me going back out, because I was thinking, surely they have to be done soon, right? So I went and was leaving the mall, and I was going to my car, and in the building, I guess in the architecture of the building, there's this huge channel slot almost, and I thought, wow, those trees look really nice, sort of tucked away in that channel. So I took a little picture of that right there, and I think it turned out pretty okay. I think I need to get used to shooting with my Canon a little bit more to be fully happy with all the pictures that I take with it, but I think it's going pretty alright so far. Most of these shots I've enjoyed quite a bit. This was on the way back home. It was just an electrical box. This is 0 on it. And I thought that was an interesting looking, I guess, composition where you had that right in the middle almost, and you had the electrical box and this core swooping up this way, and it's just a neat little picture. So some of these, yeah, there aren't, like, especially with ones like this where there isn't exactly a story behind it per se. I know that I have a lot to talk about, but this one is literally just, I picked my dog up and I was finally going home. So this is just a cool little Black Rock coffee shop. I've never been there. I bet it's probably okay, but I really don't feel like going over there. I do enjoy how I had my ISO turned up, and you could see the grain of the picture more than usual. So it's almost like a film camera, which I've been enjoying, almost imitating that with some of my pictures. Like some of them yesterday with the Olympus, it sort of comes off as like almost film-like, so I enjoy that. I think that there are programs to make your pictures look filmy. I know that there's a grainy black and white setting on my camera, which I haven't played with yet, but realistically, I think that's more so of a gimmicky shooting style, so I think I'd rather just stick with the full monochrome and imitate it with my settings and not a preset sort of color thing. But anyways, that's just picture stuff, nerdy picture stuff. And oh, so this will be from yesterday's episode, actually, if you could believe that. This was on the way into town. What was I even doing? Oh, I think I was just, it was one of my days off, and I wanted to just go and take pictures. So I went downtown. It's probably one of my favorite spots to go to, and if you guys remember, we have the guy with the cool hat, interesting looking hat, and just, I guess, lines in his face in general. He is from yesterday. And then this guy, he was with this guy. I think they were traveling as a troupe or something, I'm not sure, but I think these guys weren't the corner people that I was talking about, where they have like a little stand and they have informational pamphlets and whatnot. I think they were just guys on the street, which was kind of neat to watch and almost unintentionally follow. I saw them several times throughout the day. So, yeah, pretty cool. This guy's coat was really nice. I think, yeah, was he wearing a bow tie? I don't remember. I don't think, no, it's just top button being open. Anyways, after the next picture, I was going to. So this is the Capitol building that I mentioned yesterday. And I was originally going to walk through here because I park in the parking garage, and the stairs go up into this courtyard almost, and then you can walk through the Capitol building and go towards downtown. And I was going to walk through, but as you can see, there's a wedding going on. And I caught the folks kissing for the picture. There was a photographer taking pictures, and I guess got the backside of it. It's kind of cool. So, yeah, I got to sort of peek into somebody else's photography business almost and their life. Look at this. It's literally real life. And I thought that the framing of it with the two pillars was quite interesting. And yeah, it was just good. What a coincidence. I didn't even notice I caught the picture of them kissing. And of course, I accidentally clicked to the next picture. So we're just going to move on, I suppose. But yeah, cool shot. This guy, he was sort of just sitting. This is the library from yesterday. And this is, I guess, a statue that they have right in front of it. I'm not sure the significance of it. It is bright red and it looks very cool. But I'd have to read into it and see what, I think it's just modern art really. But this guy was sort of just sitting on the edge, and this is the, I guess, crosswalk light right here. And I noticed him and I was like, wait, natural framing? And I just took a picture of him, and I thought it was kind of cool. I think that's sort of how the story goes with most of my pictures. I just see interesting looking people and take pictures of them. That's my whole thing. And animal, we'll get into that later with the future installments. Okay, this was quite interesting. I think that's a real life pimp. I don't think I've never seen anybody like this before. But yeah, he had an umbrella he was using as a cane. His outfit was black and white. And this was when I was using my Olympus. So whenever it's black and white, it's usually Olympus. I do shoot in monochrome with my Canon every now and then, but mostly color with that one. And since, oh man, the weight difference between these two cameras is insane. The Olympus is so much smaller, so a lot more convenient to just snag up and shoot with. But you know, when you want color, you go with Canon. That's what I just think. Anyways, such an interesting looking fellow. He had a big white mustache. I think that's like an Australian hat with the, let me think, almost like, what's his face? I can't remember. I'm kind of sleepy, so my apologies for not remembering. But yeah, imagine an Australian outback guy's hat. It was kind of like that. And he had the umbrella, and he had some really nice shoes. He was taking pictures of murals off to the side. And I was taking pictures of him. Kind of cool. And I think the last picture is, or second to last picture, let's see. Yep. So this fellow, I think he was either a homeless person or somebody down on his luck, and I thought the way that he looked was interesting enough to take a picture of him. I think that is sort of another theme, I suppose, of my photography. I take pictures of homeless people often. I don't know why I am so, I guess, drawn to that, but I think it's just interesting to, I guess, capture that deep somberness to some of these people's lives, and especially with monochrome, it makes it just much more emotional, I think, with these photos. But anyways, enough with my jibber-jabbering about homeless people. I just thought this looked cool. And I think now on the last picture, yep, just one more neat little reflection self-portrait where I'm just walking down the streets and I see a very, very clean, clear window door. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do that really quick. And you know, I think usually these monochrome reflections look pretty cool. And yeah, you can see my camera bag, which has both cameras in it and all the lenses that I usually carry around. And you can see my tripod hanging off my pants. This pair of pants, I have a little side pocket on one side. It's on the right side. Or is it the left? What? Anyways, one of the sides is pocketed and the other one does not have it. And these are actually like 30-year-old these are my dad's pants when he was my age, and he's like 50 now or 51, so they're quite old and they're still pretty dang good. Anyways, that is sort of the pictures of the day. I think I said I was going to do 10 to 15. I think I did 18 or 17 right around for this installment, so I think it's sort of going to be a lot more freeform than I thought it was going to be. I was going to originally write it like bullet points to follow while I sort of chatted about my pictures, but I think I enjoy the jazz approach where I just sort of talk about the stuff that I was doing during the pictures. So, with that all being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this second installment of Pictures of the Day, and yeah, I will chat with you guys either tomorrow or the next day. Goodbye.